but I promise you there is still some insights waiting for you. So now we move to our second to last session of the day, and it's one that brings a truly rare perspective to the room, and hopefully I pronounce it correct. Balázs Lóránd. Yeah. Leads the largest AI development center with Aumovio globally and serves as head of AI for the business area autonomous mobility, oversees a team of more than 300 professionals. In short, he's not talking about scaling AI, he's doing it. So in his business case, as AI scales, leadership evolves. From a pilot project to organizational transformation, Balázs shares what it actually takes to move from experimenting to enterprise-wide AI and impact a 150, is it right? 150 years old industry company. So give Balázs Lóránd a warm welcome. I've been feeling it since 1966 now. I'll be over now.
How to build up an AI development center from scratch, how to generate value from a remote location, and how to find the best talents and somehow retain them. I will present you our recipe. My name is Balázs Lóránd, happy to be here, and I will talk about our experience, our practice, how we did it. I'm leading this center since 2020, since COVID came, and having more than 20 years of experience as a leader. And besides managing this AI development center of Aumovio, which is a spin-off of Continental, the tires company, you know. But besides tires, we're always working on different kind of ADAS solutions, which means advanced driver assistance systems. And for these systems, you need a special hardware and you need a special software. And we put the software on AI basis. AI basis, computer vision, neural networks. And since 2014, we are using these kind of technologies. And for these technologies, we established a new center from scratch, an AI development center. And since 2018, this kind of base development is not anymore in the headquarter country, in Germany, because Continental and Aumovio is a German company, but in Hungary. So I'm here from Budapest. I have a research background. I'm an economist, and I'm happy to share our practice with you. Let's start with the portfolio overview. Since 1999, we are selling these kind of solutions to different big car manufacturers globally. What kind of solutions I'm talking about? Certain kind of self-parking, safety solutions, cruising solutions, where you need to understand the environment around the car. That's what we call sensing. Then you can come up with certain plans, what to do with the car, and then you can act using these kind of inputs. And for this, we need certain components like radar, camera, central control unit, and of course, certain software components are running also there. And we are providing this whole portfolio to different kind of car manufacturer companies. I'm coming from Budapest, where we have this AI development center with almost 300 people. We started in 2018 with 0. And after a few years of rapid development, rapid growth, we reached the 300. And I think it's really nice to talk at this venue where we can check this horse riding, and I will talk about autonomous mobility, but I will not talk about autonomous mobility at the end. I will talk about the organization behind it. I will talk about leadership style. I will talk about hiring, retention, and all the things needed to somehow have the right team for AI. Let's go back to 2018. We started in 2018, and there were certain components we can build on easily, because as a company with a legacy, with a very, very strong legacy, 150 years old, Continental. This was decided to start this center build up in Hungary, which is absolutely close to the headquarters. This is really an advantage for us. But AI revolution was coming there as well. It was the wave of computer vision based on neural networks. So we had to also change our existing algo, our existing software components. But of course, in a big competition, inside and outside of the company. So many other companies are doing the same. When to do it? What is the right timing of this kind of investment? Is it too early in 2018? Because we still don't have self-driving cars here in Vienna, right? Is it worth starting it so soon? Who knows? We will judge it later on. But at least we made this decision to start it. And of course, there were certain kind of expectations from the management level. For example, not to build up a research center with nice guys with PhD, as I have, but something for product development, something which is certain kind of value. It's going into the product, and we can sell the product to more customers at a higher price, of course. And it's not just a few people here and there, but somehow accumulate a critical amount of knowledge together with a team spirit. Because if we invest a lot to establish a separate location, then of course it's not worth after a few years to close it. Having a vision to unite that we had to found also globally, but also locally, and somehow become the next center responsible for certain products. Because AI is just a component of a product. AI is not the final solution we sell. At the end, we sell self-parking. And how can we become responsible end-to-end for the whole solution like self-parking? That's our next challenge. Let's start the journey. 2018 with 0, and you can see how the headcount increased in certain period of time. We had some rapid growth periods and some kind of stabilization, for example, during COVID, when we had this internal focus and we were really able to stabilize our teams, our procedures, our processes and everything. And year by year, we were able to extend the list of topics that we were responsible for. So we started with the first 4. Deep learning methods is really the core for neural network-based development. And each and every year, we handed over certain topics from Germany. Of course, in a big competition. Competition internally with high cost, but also with best cost. Because so many good guys also, developers are also in Romania, in India. So we had to somehow prove to the company that we can find better talents here, and we can hand over each and every year one topic. And now, let me involve you in this topic. Please grab your phone, join this Slido. It's a different Slido, sorry, it's not the same Slido as we use all through the day. You can use the code AIAM, or you can just take a photo of the QR code. And my first question is about hiring, recruitment. Select the 2 most important sources in general for the last 7 years, last 8 years. So which sources we really heavily used all through the years? Which sources were the most important? We already have 9 answers. 11. Thank you. It was really important where to invest our efforts and where to invest our limited budget, of course. We have 32, 34, so let's see the results now. Employee referral, 54% and 49% for own career side. No wrong answer. So thanks very much for being so active. Employee referral, yes, correct. That's the most important nowadays. After we reach the critical amount of people, after we have this kind of network in Hungary and in the region, more than 120, 150, since that time, employee referral is the most important. In certain period of time, we have more than 50% of our newcomers coming through employee referrals. And sisters are brothers working there in the company. I'm so proud of this. Would you ask your sister to work for the company where you work? Only if it's good enough, right? But at the very beginning, it was not there, right? So when we started, we needed the support of headhunters. So we worked with very special headhunter companies focusing on this kind of niche market of deep learning engineers. So this is also very important. And of course, the rest is somehow complementing this. Organizational structure. We started with a domain-specific setup in the meantime, and after a while, where we had certain departments for certain topics like data, infrastructure, deep learning, and after a while, we realized we need a very, very strong focus on products, because that's how we can really guarantee that we are working on the priorities. So we had this kind of transformation, and we implemented product lines. What's the challenge where we have issues nowadays? How to align between the domain areas, right? Because they are sitting separately, even sometimes next to each other, because we are there at one location in Budapest for deep learning, but that's still a big challenge. And of course, for a professional development team, we need professional general administration as well. So we had to extend the central team, and we had to come up with professional HR, professional communication, professional operations as well. What happened in the meantime regarding the work modes? We implemented scaled agile framework, product management at this. So previously we had only the line managers who were also involved in the projects, in the product management. But then we separated this, implemented scaled agile framework, and we kept the department, had a lean agile leader roles, and came up with product managers, release train engineers, scrum masters, and product owners. And how you see how it is, their efforts are allocated 60% what was done previously by the line managers. Of course, again, much more communication is there in the system, right? Much more leaders, certain kind of conflicts separated, but we need so many alignments for sure. And certain career paths established. AI adoption, AI innovation, we need engineers and we need special experts for certain kind of areas. But it's not about disruption only. We are building up cars. We need stabilizers who can come up with a right solution, and that's why product management is also very important. So we provide different kind of career paths to our people, and to find their own way, own path in our company. And now I have the next question. We are really sad when someone is leaving our company, and of course we do exit interviews for sure. We would like to learn a lot from these. But we are more interested in why people are staying with us. Why do you still working for this company, for us, after 2 years, after 3 years, after 4 years? And we regularly ask them, what is the most important factor for you? Because these people are really have the very, very good possibilities on the market. They have sometimes several orders in their pockets, several offers in their pockets already. They can change, they can move easily. For AI developers, we can find jobs anytime. But why do they stay still? 30 answers, thank you very much. Let's check it. Team spirit. Okay, second one, opportunities to develop. Third one, leadership culture. Very, very good answers. Recently, I would say that's absolutely correct, team spirit nowadays. At the beginning, in the first few years, it was more about the leadership culture, and it was more about the opportunities to develop. So that's why they have chosen us. But at the end, after 5-6 years, now I see that there's a really strong bonding in the teams between the people, and it's really supporting us to how to work together, how to stay together. And vision mission is also important. Appreciation is also important. It's just not enough. Not enough to retain them. They need it, they want it, it's a hygienic factor, but even if they get it, they can still leave, because they can receive the same amount at other companies as well. So it's a very, very fierce competition for this kind of people. Work modes, I talked about agile. We started from waterfall, of course, originally V-model, automotive development with waterfall. After a while, we implemented agile because we wanted to be more innovative and more flexible and have more empowerment in the teams. And after we realized some of the teams are not delivering on time, we had to jump into task force mode. Just for this project, just for this topic, just for this team, just now. We will stop it after 5 months, after 6 months. And then, of course, we were able to go back to agile. And sometimes we just realized that for certain topics, for example, in infrastructure, it's much better to be really transparent with our people and say, guys, it's only working in waterfall. We don't want to lie to you, just use it, and that's the best for everyone. So, but then you can ask me, how to combine these in one company? How we can survive with having different kind of work modes? It's a mess, right? What we can do with this. And we just implemented different kind of solutions for this, to have different work modes at the same time, have this kind of flexibility, and of course, have the functions in the focus. But in automotive, it's still important to have the documentation, to have the right quality level guaranteed by us as a vendor to the OEMs. And of course, this means constant alignments, realignments in line with the expectations of the customer. But what is, I think, the most important part is the empowered interfaces. It's people's business, right? So the focus is on the human being. And who is in the intersection between a waterfall team and an agile team? That's really important. How he or she can somehow manage this. And we had to empower them, we had to train them. They received lots of coaching and mentoring all through the years. How to connect these kind of teams with the right flexibility. And maybe certain topics were running in an agile way in a small team for 1 month, but on a global level, we had the traditional waterfall project with the milestones. And all through the 1 month, the team had the full flexibility, full responsibility. And if they were not ready with the decision, I came and I decided. Next time they were ready. They were not interested in my decision. Let me share my own personal recipe with you before I come up with the conclusion. So, I'm an economist, I'm not an engineer. In a company which is really developing engineering solutions based on software, based on code, of course, I'm a little bit different. What kind of difference I can bring, what kind of diversity I can bring here as a leader? For example, I'm coming with an IT experience. I work for T-Systems, I work for G in different IT-related roles. So how to position our IT topics, software development in automotive? I had the experience previously from telco and from manufacturing. Management focus, what the leader should do, how the leader should focus on finding the best people, focusing on retaining them, and how to manage the stakeholders around us. I had the experience from the past, how we did in different projects when we worked together with US, with Europe, and with India. I strongly believe in competition. Not only internal competition, but also external competition. And sometimes get rid of our own solutions. We started building up, developing a nice tool, for example, for labeling. For computer vision, we need lots of frames, lots of images, where you can show to the AI, this is a pedestrian, this is a pedestrian, this is a pedestrian. And after a while, it learns, as our child. We don't know how, but AI learns it. And of course, this kind of labeling tool is very important for our development process. But at the end of the day, if anyone can come up with a better labeling tool from the market, why we should develop ours with less and less people? We should get rid of it and switch. So always consider competition internally and externally. I have a research background. That's why I was always thinking about what kind of vision, mission, strategy we can have in the development, in the AI development, in software development. And I delivered lots of projects in the last few decades. And that's why I strongly believe in the value of project management. And when we started, we were really focusing on engineers. And after a while, I just came up with my idea, we need a few project managers here and there. Because it's also very, very important. And nowadays, we have a really strong project management organization as well. Conclusions at the end. We were always challenging the existing technology. That's what we are doing nowadays as well. Because, as I mentioned, the labeling tool, maybe it's not the best what we do, and we can find something better. And of course, in the meantime, we were piloting these cutting-edge AI solutions, not to stop where we are now. Have disruptors and stabilizers working with each other, next to each other. For example, in the garage, we have test cars. We have one guy coming from a startup with a startup mindset. We can hack anything. And one guy coming from a nice, big, tier 1 automotive supplier with all the processes and V model and everything. And they should work together day by day. And that's how we manage disruptors and stabilizers. Of course, have the competition each and every day, talking about it, and prioritize the critical issues when it's needed, of course, changing the work modes. And lots of shifts are happening in the meantime during this, when we're focusing on stability, on speed. But what is really important, the stability lies in the values. What kind of values? Openness, transparency, being ahead of the curve, and also somehow focusing on the human beings. And this kind of values should somehow stay in the human hands. And the journey continues. We are building up level 4 trucks for the US market, self-driving trucks already on the roads. And next year, this will be available commercially for testing. And if you're interested in a solution we are building up, this is the end product of our development, where you can see it from a normal view, from a bird's eye view, and this is for the trucks project. And if you can see a bounding box around each and every vehicle, then it means we found it. Then it means we understand the environment around us, which is really important to make traffic on the roads safer and safer day by day, because with this, we can save lives on the road. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Balázs. There are some questions. How much time do we have? Okay. Do you believe your team spirit is a result of leadership and development opportunities? Was one of the questions.
Yes and no. Certain situations when, as a leader, we were a role model, and we tried to somehow come up with the right norms, come up with the right behavior, also regulating ourselves and getting rid of colleagues who were not really in the same standards. Of course, this was very, very important. But as I see it now, it's more about the strong people, the strong, mature people who stayed with us from the very beginning. And I see that really they are the foundation of our culture. And each and every year we celebrate them, because I think we can be really grateful.
Lovely. Good. There was one more. I wonder if we have the right leaders in place for our future. How to select and prepare or train them?
Very good point. Actually, what I see with our leaders, I'm very proud that since 2020, I'm working with the same engineering leader team. Nobody left us. Nobody left me, my senior management team. And they were all selected here at the location. They were not coming as a line manager here to work for us. And how I selected them, it was really about certain kind of values, certain kind of behavior, and lots of different situations where I checked them previously. And I used to say that each and every meeting is somehow an interview. We don't need a new interview with you when you apply for a job, because we work together we have been working together for 2 years. Each and every meeting is some kind of an interview. And then you can realize, and don't be afraid to say no. I said no to certain guys 3 or 4 times. Sometimes they left after that. But the new company, they are still not working as a line manager. So I think as a location head, as a managing director, I should be really strict who to somehow invite into the leadership team.
Wise. That's wise.
Thank you.
Hope this is answered, this question. There is more hands up. Florian. But you will get it. Farad has it ready for you.
Just a simple question. This incredible transformation efforts, you're doing probably a huge investment in time, money, and energy. Just curious about maybe you covered it, but what business problems, issues drove this? I mean, this is huge, what you did. So what kind of problems were you having? What kind of issues were you facing that prompted this? Where you decided we're going to do all this transformation? I'm just curious.
Just get started right now.
Yeah, it's a big company with lots of people working together. And regarding this kind of transformation, when we move from domain specific to product line specific, we just realized that certain kind of topics are not progressing well, and certain kind of priorities are existing on the top level, on the mid level, and on the operative level. And if you're sitting in just one product line where you see one strong product line head, then you can have the same priority for the whole product line all in all, and that's the end of the story. And that's why we just realized that it's the better setup for the company to deliver on time.
That's it. That's what I was leaning to. For the client, it's all about.
Of course, for the client.
It's all about lead time.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
So the entire effort was really to reduce, to get the lead time
Absolutely.
shorter.
Yes. To be more flexible and get their own time.
Interesting.
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you. One more question? Because I have one, but maybe it's challenging. Should I dare?
Please.
Good. I was wondering, with the very last sentence when you said, because I can feel it that you are so proud about your people. And can you feel too? It's really lovely to see a leader feeling with your people and your sisters and brothers, you said?
Yep.
Yeah, I
Yes.
can really feel it. And then I was wondering, your great engineers and the great people, if they develop further and they are on the edge of the development, when AI is coding and making it, will they reduce themselves?
Good point. Good point. We are just testing it, trying it, piloting it. What's happening with agentic coding? We started using this kind of models recently, and trying to come up with certain kind of new processes, new governance methods, sitting together, not only talking about engineering and not talking about coding, but how the whole organization will transform. But I don't have yet the final answer for this, because it can happen as well that we can deliver more with the same amount of people.
Yeah, that would be the beauty of it.
Of course.
And I'm pretty sure this will be the questions what we will discuss next year. Because many companies will face this. So
Definitely.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Just get started right now.